Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So thanks to everyone who joined. We are very, very excited. So we are going to continue our classes on different concepts like Kala, Karma, Prakriti, Jiva, Ishvara, and general concepts or general values that we have already learned. So today we are going to discuss karma, which is activities, a very difficult concept to understand. And to understand what karma is all about, we are going to discuss a story from the Gita Mahatmya, chapter 4, the glories of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4. So there's a very interesting story that talks about karma, activities of a person and what it leads to. Okay. So let's get into the story. Listen carefully, listen attentively as much as you can, because this is going to be an interactive session followed by Kahoot. Okay. So pay attention. So this is the story. This is a story of a saint by the name Bharata. It's not clearly identified which Bharata the saint was, but there was a saintly person by the name Bharata, and his story is being discussed. So once, on the bank of the river Ganges in Kashi, there was a great person by the name Bharata. And this Bharata would often recite the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita with great devotion. Once, this Bharata, he was traveling on a pilgrimage, and he had gone to a particular town by the name Tapodan. And he had darshan of Lord Sri Krishna there. And before leaving that town, he wanted to take rest. So in those days, there was no question of checking into a motel or checking into a place like a guest house or something. So generally, these wandering saints, they would just sleep under trees. So this Bharata, he decided that he would take rest under 2 bale fruit trees. So bale is a kind of a fruit. And it's a very popular tree in India. It's seen in many places. So he saw that there were 2 shady trees, and he decided to take rest under those 2 trees. So under the roots of one of the tree, he put his head and he extended his legs so that his legs would reach out to the roots of the other tree, as you see in this picture. Okay, so he slept there and he had good rest, and he left that place and he went back to Kashi. Now, what happened to those trees? After some time, it so happened that the 2 trees, they started to dry up. And in 5 or 6 days, these 2 trees, they completely dried up and all the leaves withered and the trees died. The 2 souls that had been living in the trees, later, they took birth as the daughters of a very, very pious Brahmana. So we all know all living entities, be it a tree or be it human beings or be it animals, everybody has a soul. Anything that is sentient or conscious has a soul in it. So therefore, these 2 trees, they took birth as the 2 daughters of a very pious Brahmana. Okay, so that is what happened to those 2 trees. And they grew up to be fine girls. And when they were about 7 years old, they went on a pilgrimage to Kashi. So they went on a pilgrimage to Kashi 7 years later, 7 years after the tree was dead, and they took birth in the house of a pious Brahmin. So after 7 years, they went wandering and they went to Kashi. There they went and they met the sage Bharata. They happened to see him. And when they saw this sage Bharata, immediately they went to him, they identified him, and they fell down at his feet and they told Bharata, because of your mercy, we both have become freed from the life of a tree. So they remembered and they went and told this to the sage. They said, it's all because of your mercy that we got liberated from the birth as trees. So when Bharata heard the statement, he was very surprised and he asked, how is it possible? You're telling that because of my mercy, you both got freed from trees? So let me know, tell me, how is it that first of all, you both attained the form of trees? And secondly, what really happened? What is the reason for you both getting freed from that curse and getting birth as pious daughters of a Brahmana? So tell me what exactly happened. So when Bharata asked that question, the two girls, they began to recite their story. So the two girls said, actually, on the bank of the river Godavari, once upon a time, there lived a sage. It was a very sacred place in the banks of the river Godavari. It was called as Chinnapat. In that area, there lived a very, very pious sage by the name Sachtapa. His name was Sachatapa, and he was performing great austerities. So what sort of austerities did he perform? In the hot season, he would sit between many fires. In the cold season, he would stand in very chilly cold rivers. And in course of time, because of the different austerities that he performed, he became completely pure and he had complete control of his senses. And slowly he developed so much devotion that he perfected his devotion to Krishna. He became so pure, he became so popular, he became so fixed in devotion that he was known everywhere. Everybody, all the demigods, sages, everybody knew who this Sachatapa was. His fame had spread so far and wide because he was known for his devotion. Even Lord Brahma, he began visiting him daily to take darshan of Sachatapa and put questions before Sachatapa about devotional service to Lord Krishna. So even Brahma would take classes from Sachatapa on devotional service to Lord Krishna, and the Sachatapa would teach him about devotional service to Lord Krishna. So this was the greatness of that sage, Sachatapa. So he was very, very great. Imagine if you're going to be a teacher to Lord Brahma, how great you must be. So that was the position of the Sachatapa. However, in this world, when you do many good things, there are a lot of people who appreciate the good you do. But there are others who are also envious of the little things that you do. So similarly, the Sachatapa, he also attracted a lot of envy from Indra. Now, Indra, we all know, is the king of heavens. Okay, he has a great position. The chair of Indra is very, 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 very sought after. Just like in this world, you have so many, you have presidents and ministers, and their position or their post is so important. It is very hard to give up that post. So like that, Indra, who's the king of heavens, which is the most sought after post, in fact, in this world, he started envying the Sachatapa. He became worried. Indra became worried seeing this elevated position of Sachatapa. He thought he's becoming so elevated, so maybe one day he will take over as the king of heaven. He will grab my throne. So before he does that, before I lose my position and the Sachatapa becomes Indra because of his greatness, let me send two of my associates to distract him from his position and make him have a fall down, because it looks like he's trying to usurp my position. So this is how generally people think, if we have something very precious, we all often think it is so important that everybody else wants to have what I have. But that may not really be the truth. But generally, that's the feeling that people have. If I have something very nice, we always think, oh, I have it. And so people are, trying to take what I have. So that's a general attitude that we all think of. I mean, it's something that goes on in our mind. So Indra was thinking like that. And this, indeed, this fear is very, very commonly there when you have a very important post. So have any of you felt fear of loss of one's position? Have you been a leader in any capacity? And how do you feel? Just, you can express your feelings. You can tell me how you feel when your position is threatened, or when your leadership tenure is getting over. How do you feel? Do you feel happy or do you feel sad? How do you feel?
I feel sad.
You feel sad? Yeah.
I haven't been a leader in anything before.
You have not been a leader. But how about if you had something very important and somebody is going to take it away from you? How would you feel?
I would feel kind of bad.
I wouldn't feel very happy about that.
Yeah.
Exactly. No one likes to.
I don't think anybody would like anybody taking stuff from them.
Exactly. That's so true.
Yeah,
right?
mostly pretty valuable things.
Exactly, pretty valuable things, important name, position, fame. All these are so important to people, right? So imagine for us, little things we get so attached to. Imagine Indra. Indra, it's a very big post. It's a million times a higher post than the president of America. Okay, it's a very, very high post. So imagine how insecure he must be feeling. So when we feel insecure for little things, how insecure would Indra feel? So that's exactly what he was feeling. But of course, it is not that, whatever he did is right, but still it is a natural feeling that lingers in the heart. So why do you think you have that feeling?
Scared
What's
of
the
fall
root
down.
cause? You fear of fall down? Yeah, maybe you're going to lose.
Attached to
Because of pride.
attached to position by this.
Probably scared of losing your reputation.
Because of pride.
False ego.
Mataji, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Hi Krishna Mataji, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Hi, Krishna. Yeah.
Your microphone's working.
Yeah, Mataji might join from another device. Just hold on for a second.
We still can't hear you.
I think Mataji will join from another device. She might have problem from one. We'll just wait for a few minutes, okay?
Yes.
Now you're muted.
Yes, she's back. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
We cannot hear you.
We can't hear you.
She has to join from another device, I guess.
Mataji, you could go to audio settings and turn it all the way up.
No, I think she had
Audio.
some problem with her device.
No, Mataji.
Okay, let me call her. Let me call her. 1 second.
We can't hear you still, Mataji.
Can I come? Hari bol.
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, am I here?
Yes.
Okay,
Then
okay. Okay. So, the two, yes. So the two girls said that I think we were talking about the story, and we were asking you about fear of loss of one's position. So we were talking about fear of loss of one's position, and you all answered very nicely, because there is always this thought in the mind that because you're attached to your position, you feel somewhat uncomfortable when you've lost your possession or your position. So now, what happened actually? So the Apsaras who were sent by Indra, they went and they tried to distract the Sachyatapa from the different austerities that he was performing. They were trying very hard to somehow distract him. And at that time, the sage, he got very upset because they were unnecessarily distracting him. He took water in his hand and he cursed these two ladies, saying that they both would become bale trees. They both would become trees in their next, immediately they would have a fall down because they were acting in a very wrong way. So they were cursed to become trees. And immediately these two ladies, they fell down at the feet of Sage Sachyatapa, and they apologized to him, saying that I'm really, really sorry. We didn't, want to do this, but we were sent by Indra. But then the sage Sachyatapa, seeing their submissive attitude, that they were trying to be very, very sweet and they were very submissive. So the sage, seeing their submissive attitude, he said, it's okay. You will be liberated very soon from your tree body when Maharaj Bharat comes in contact with you, because he is going to actually release both of you from this curse. He also gave them a blessing, saying that actually you will remember your previous births because of the blessing that I am giving you. So like this, the two girls, they became trees. Now, you see the situation where the Apsaras were, they were influenced by Indra to perform a wrong action. So this is not something that we have never gone through. Many of us have been influenced by different people to do different things, even though we don't like to do it. So how would you deal with such a situation? What would you do if you were put in such a situation? Anybody would like to answer?
I would ask for forgiveness.
What if you're induced, if someone is telling you, go and do this?
Then if someone was telling me that you have to do something,
that you don't want to do because you know it's wrong,
you would tell a trusted adult.
you would tell it to
well,
an
then
adult.
I would,
Very nice.
yeah, I would tell an
Say that
adult,
they're making
and
me
then if they don't do anything, then I would just try my best to do what they do.
I would feel very bossed and like not really controlling of myself.
Could have asked the sage to protect them, telling like Indra's telling.
Correct. Very nice. Yes, that would be the wisest thing to do. Very nice answers. Okay, so the girls, they concluded their story, and they began to they told what exactly happened after that. So they took birth as trees, and then Maharaj Bharat, when he came to Tapodan, he rested beneath them, and when they were in the form of bale trees, they heard Maharaj Bharat reciting the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. They heard him reciting the 4th chapter as he was lying under the tree. So when they heard the Bhagavad Gita, they became purified because see, Maharaj Bharat was a devotee, and as a devotee, he was also chanting something very, very pure, which was the Bhagavad Gita. And because of that, they got purified and they got liberated from their tree life, and they got birth in a devotee family, in a very, very pious Brahmin family, so that they could continue the process of devotional service from there. So in this life, as they were two girls, they continued to carefully recite the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita daily, because remember, they had a boon. They had a boon that they would remember their past life, the offense that they did as Apsaras. So therefore, they understood that this is the best way for perfection, and they continuously recited the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and they attained devotion to the lotus feet of Krishna and perfected their lives in that birth as the two girls. Okay, so they told their entire story to Maharaja Bharat, and they left and they perfected their lives. Now, you see in the story, you have seen 3 births. You have seen them as Apsaras, okay? Then you have seen them as 2 trees, which is a very low kind of a birth. And then you have seen them as 2 very pious girls. Then they have perfected their life. So we have seen 3 births together. Now I want you to tell, do you think there is an end for karma, meaning end for the cycle of birth and death? Because of some wrong, you have to take birth and exhaust your karma, like that karma. Does it end or does it keep continuing? What is your thought on it?
It ends when you do devotional service, it'll end.
You become liberated by Krishna, or he gives you a freeness of karma, then you'll be end of karma. It will be the end of karma. Otherwise, your action you do will result in some kind of good or bad.
If you get liberated, then the karma will continue, because as your soul travels to another body, it goes through a lot of places, it goes through a lot of places. Karma as in your next life.
Correct.
The karma doesn't stop. The karma doesn't stop because right now when we're breathing, we're killing so many microorganisms. But if we breathe for the sake of Krishna, then the karma gets destroyed.
Correct. Very nice. So yes, the theory of karma is very complicated. It is a case where you keep accruing karma every minute, and so therefore it appears like it's never going to end. But then karma can end if you're doing devotional service, because that's what happened to these girls. Their karma ended and they perfected their lives. Okay, so now a situational question. Supposing you have an opportunity to recite the Bhagavad Gita and upload it on YouTube, and someone is hearing you, someone is hearing your recital. Do you think you will be benefited by it?
Yes, because if you make someone else a devotee, you also get the benefiting.
Yes,
You get-
I think so. I think that you will get a benefit, because then you're spreading more Krishna consciousness around the world, because then they might spread that and then they might spread that.
Correct. You get yes, go ahead. Anyone else?
Yeah, you will be benefited since you help spreading the name of Krishna.
Yes. So basically,
You will
yes,
be
you're
benefited.
attracting the mercy. Yes, you will be benefited. So you're attracting the mercy of Krishna, and therefore you will be benefited. That is correct. Very nice. The person who's hearing will be benefited, and you are also benefited because you're spreading something that Krishna likes, and you become a very dear devotee of the Lord. So very well said. Very, very nice. Okay. So now let's get into our discussion. Okay, this is actually the interesting part. We are now going to discuss about karma. Okay, so tell me, what is your definition of the law of karma? What do you know about karma? What is karma? Would you define it in one sentence?
Karma would be like the actions you do.
Karma is action.
As a reaction.
Action has a
The
reaction.
actions that you do, yes.
Okay.
That you do that are good.
Karma is what you get as a reaction in your next life.
Correct.
Basically what everybody said.
Okay. Okay. So basically, karma is action, and whatever action you do, you get a reaction. That is karma.
Karma is the reaction you get from your action.
Yes, karma is the reaction you get from your action. So basically,
karma is basically the effect you get from the cause.
Effect from the cause. Yes, that is correct. So basically, the karma is the law of cause and effect, or action and reaction. Every cause has a reaction, and every reaction has a cause. So it's not like, you must have heard this statement: every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? That is a law in science. But here, karma is a slightly different. Every action has an equal and appropriate reaction. It's not an opposite reaction, rather it's appropriate reaction. And this law of karma, it works under the supervision of the Supreme Lord, but it is carried out through material nature and time. So material nature and time, Prakriti and Kala. Kala we have not yet studied, but we have studied nicely what Prakriti is. Anyone remembers what Prakriti consists of? The three modes of material nature?
Goodness, passion,
and ignorance.
Exactly. Yes. So under the supervision of the Lord, through material nature means our actions are always carried out through material nature. Our actions are either in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. So therefore, under the supervision of the Lord, the actions that we perform through material nature and in the course of time, that is how karma works. Karma works under the supervision of the Lord through the factors of material nature and time. So karma is actually intertwined with all these concepts. So it's a very complicated system, the way karma works. Okay, but still we will try to uncover how it works. Now, karma, as all of you said, is activities. So activities pertaining to the development of bodies of living entities is called karma, or fruitive activities. This is a definition directly from the Bhagavad Gita. What is karma? Karma is action. What sort of action? Action pertaining to the development of bodies of the living entities. So you can just rewind the story. The actions they performed resulted in taking up different bodies. So actually the definition of karma is activities that result in taking different bodies of different living entities is called as karma, or fruitive activities. This is Bhagavad Gita 8.3. Now you look at this chart on the right hand side, we have definitions for three. Okay, we have definitions for vikarma, karma, akarma. I'm going to define each one of them. So vikarma,
akarma, right?
yeah. So vikarma, so we have vikarma is work that is performed against scriptural directions, which are generally sinful activities. Like when you perform sin, when someone is a murderer or someone robs something, these are all vikarma. Any action that is against proper scriptural directions is vikarma. Karma means activities which incurs subsequent reactions. A lot of pious activities are considered as karma. Okay, a lot of activities, any good thing that you do, they are all considered as karma. But however, karma means it is only devotional activity, or it's called as inaction. Now, when we say non-action, it doesn't mean that, you're just sitting down doing nothing. Inaction means something that doesn't incur any karma, and that can be devotional service. Now, I have defined the three, but I want you all to give me more examples for each of these cases. So let's take the case of karma. Can you give me examples for karma activities? Yes.
I have an example. For karma,
go ahead, Shri.
it can be like if someone is making a hospital for sick people, then in his next life he has to become sick as many times the people came in his hospital and become good. Suppose 10 people came and they were healthy.
Yes.
After being sick, then in his next life, 10 times he needs to be sick and go to the same people's hospitals to become like good again.
Good again. Okay. Yes. Karma. Okay. That's good. Next one. Anyone else?
Karma?
Yes.
So an example of karma would be like a karma is like doing something for material activities, like not only devotional service. So karma can be something like you're studying for a test or which is still good for you, but it's not a karma which is complete devotional service.
Correct. Good. Anyone else?
And some karma can be exercising.
Yes, that is correct.
Some karma can be like karmi books.
Karmi books. Okay.
One if you buy a car and don't use it in the service of Krishna.
Do not use it in the service of Krishna. Yes, Abhinav. Yes, that is correct. So basically, some sort of activities. Next, can you give examples of? No, let's do vikarma. Can you give examples of vikarma?
So vikarma is like going to a house and then like asking for all their
let's
money.
go one by one. Yeah.
Okay. So vikarma is going to random people's houses and then asking for all their money and then demanding it.
Okay.
And then robbing everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Vikram could be like robbing or murdering.
Killing
animals. Vikram could be like smoking.
Very good. Anyone else?
Going against the
Killing animals.
Killing animals. Good.
Betting.
Betting. Very nice.
Killing animals and then eating them.
Yes, correct. Okay, nice. Now, can you give examples of akarma?
Akarma, chanting, doing kirtan.
Chanting and
then going to temple.
Reading Srila Prabhupada's books.
Books, wow.
Reading, doing Bhagavad Gita.
Devotional service unto Lord.
Very nice. I like eating prasadam very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very nice. Very, very nice. Kirtan. Yes. Okay. So now answer this. Dash and dash are the cause of bondage. Among these three, which are the cause of bondage?
All seagull. Oh. Karma.
Karma and vikarma. Karma and vikarma.
Karma and vikarma.
Oh, karma and vikarma, not akarma.
Okay, can you explain how?
Vikarma is definitely one of the causes of bondage because it's completely not following any of the scriptures. And karma is mostly material activity, so that's also the cause of bondage.
Okay, cause of bondage means what?
are making you more.
you have something very special to you and you don't want to give it up or something.
So when you're performing karma or vikarma, how do you think that you're coming back to this world?
Because you have to suffer or not suffer. You have to suffer for vikarma, and then you have to get the fruits of your action for karma.
Very good. Yes.
And
So, yeah. So these are the two examples. That is correct. So these are the two examples. Like, for example, you're a businessman and you have a lot of money. Okay. So you have worked really hard on your business to accumulate that money. And you've done a lot of action. Okay. You've done a lot of action. A lot of karma has gone in there. So once you have worked so hard, you want to enjoy. Okay. So you go on a vacation and you enjoy. And after you enjoy, it's not like your enjoyment continues forever. This enjoyment has a stop at some point in time. Once your money is exhausted, you'll have to stop that, and then you have to go back to your home. Okay. So that is a case of karma. Okay. You're doing something you're enjoying, but your enjoyment is not continuous. Again, you're coming back to square one. Okay? Similarly, when you do some pious activity, it is said that you would go and enjoy in the heavenly planets. But enjoying in the heavenly planets is not permanent. You'll have to come back. Okay, come back to earth and then start over again. So similarly, there is also this case of vikarma. If a person is doing something wrong, if supposing there is a thief or a murderer, like all of you said, he's implicated for whatever bad activities he's doing, and he's being put to jail. So when he's in jail, he's paying for his sins, right? He's paying for his sins, probably 12 years or 15 years or whatever it may be. He's paying for his sins. Once it is done, again, he has to go back to his old life. So basically, it's a cause of bondage. It goes on and on, cyclic. It doesn't stop. The more karma and vikarma you do, it's not like it's helping you release from that process. Again and again, it goes on and on. So therefore, karma and vikarma are the causes of bondage. So what is not the cause of bondage, and how do you explain that? Among the three, which one?
Karma is not the cause.
Karma is not the cause of bondage.
How?
Because you're not doing anything bad.
Oh, even in pious activities, you're not doing anything bad.
Yeah, but you're worshipping Krishna and not doing any material activities.
So what if I'm worshipping Krishna?
If worshipping Krishna, you got reactions, then that would be doing material activities, and Krishna is not material. So.
Wow, that's interesting.
Krishna service takes away all the karma, and takes away all the karma and the karma.
Correct. Yes, go ahead.
It's not that you cannot do any material activities, because then you're considering that you should not breathe as well. But like you can buy a car, and you can do a lot of things that are considered as material, but if you use it in the service of the Lord, then it automatically becomes transcendental. Like if I have a car and I use it to serve the devotees, or like something like that, then the car does not remain material, and I don't get reaction for buying a car.
Correct. So basically, the point is that you're not doing it for yourself, meaning you're not being selfish. You're not doing it for yourself, and you're doing it in the service of Krishna. That's what all of you have said.
Karma is not a cause of bondage, because a karma is like Krishna conscious stuff. So you're going to have like you're going to do Krishna conscious stuff, and you won't have any bondage.
Correct. Very well said. So the point here is that akarma is performed without selfish desires for ourselves. As long as you're performing something, action, good action or bad action, you're performing it for yourselves, you're implicated. Okay. So if you're not performing it for yourself and you're performing it as a service to God, then it is a selfless, it is called a selfless devotion. So therefore, you do not have to suffer your karma, or you're not implicated by the karma. But we should remember that a karma means it's not like you're stopping physical action. You have to act, but you should act in the service of the Lord, or rather dovetailing. like all of you said, chanting and hearing, and you gave some examples of buying a car and using it in Krishna's service. So like that, there are several akarma activities. Like you see this particular king, he's sweeping the way for Lord Jagannath to pass by. That is also devotional service. So any activity that is dovetailed in the service of Krishna, these are all akarma activities because they are not done with a selfish motive. Okay, I'll ask you one question. If we are doing devotional service with a selfish motive, then what happens?
It becomes karma.
Yes, a sort of a karma, but still your devotion is preserved. It's a combination, yes. So basically, it is selfish. So you would get a better position to enjoy, but still your devotion is preserved. Your devotion is still preserved because Krishna is very compassionate. Very nice answers. So let's go ahead. Now, philanthropy. Okay. So this is akarma or karma. Philanthropy means you see a beggar on a street and you're just dropping in a few cents into his bowl. So tell me.
It's karma.
It's karma. Why do you think it's
Yes,
karma?
it is karma.
Because
It's karma because you're not serving Krishna.
Devotion.
But it's karma because you're not serving Krishna, but you're still doing a good deed.
Also,
you're
gonna get a reaction
Hare
to
Krishna.
doing the good deed.
Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I think it depends on your mindset. Like, let's say you give a few cents to a homeless person, like say, like near a temple, and say, or like you give it to like a Brahmin or someone, and then they're serving Krishna. So if you give them a few cents, you'll be serving Krishna. But if you give them a few cents, like if you give them like $100 and everybody looks at you, you think, oh yeah, everybody's looking at me, I'm a good person now. Then that would be karma. So I think it depends on your mindset.
Interesting. Yeah, you have made 2 points. One point is that if you give it to a Brahmin who's serving Krishna, then it's a karma. And the second point you said is you should not do it out of passion for name and fame. Okay, good. Yes, go ahead.
But if you think that this beggar is the heart of Krishna, and therefore I'm serving Krishna's servant, then you don't accumulate that much karma as you would for just saying, "Oh, I want name and fame."
Yes, that's correct.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I would like to say something.
Yes.
If you believe that in every person there is Krishna, then I guess it technically counts as a karma because you're serving Krishna.
Yes. So if you're doing it for this, if you're understanding that this person is serving Krishna and you're serving him, then it counts as a karma. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying that if you believe that the person is Krishna, like if you believe that every single person has Krishna in themselves, then
you're talking about the consciousness. Okay, but still, even if your consciousness is so, you're only doing it for the body of the person, right? You're giving money only for the body of the person. So then how do you account for it? How does it matter what consciousness I see? I'm still serving only the body, right? See, I see Krishna in everyone. I see everyone as equal. Supposing I have a consciousness, I'm seeing the Paramatma in that person. But still, I'm giving him money, right? So I'm only serving the body.
If you're doing it out of love for Krishna, then that is a type of service to Krishna.
If you're doing it out of love for Krishna.
Also, if you're doing it for Krishna, you're not doing it for yourself.
But if you think that if you see Krishna in everyone and you would not give this person the money, then you shouldn't do anything for yourself either, because you're still thinking that I'm the soul, not the body, so why not I not do anything?
Okay. So overall, the point that all of you mentioned is that if you're doing it thinking that this is a service to Krishna, then it is okay. If you're just doing it so that, this person can get a better material facility, then it is karma. Is that what all of you are saying? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So generally, if you see a beggar on a street, okay, supposing he is not, in any way involved in Krishna consciousness, or you are not even seeing the person as being something spiritual, or you're not having the samadarshan, meaning seeing everything with an equal vision, and you're just dropping some pennies into his bowl, then you're only serving his body. Meaning he's going to go to Burger King or he'll go to McDonald's and he'll buy something he's going to eat, and that's it. So you're implicated by that giving, that donation. You're also going to suffer actually. So he's not going to go to a vegan hub and then offer the food to Krishna and eat, a random person on the street. So then if he's going to McD or Burger King, then you're also playing a role in facilitating him to eat meat. Okay, so definitely there's a reaction for you too. So philanthropy, blind philanthropy, is definitely not a karma. It is generally karma because it's pertaining to the body. It is like, and if that person is, okay, if he's even used it in a good way, okay, supposing he's used it in a good way, rather he has just eaten something nice and he's okay, he's just got some clothes to cover his body, very minimal, he's done something good and he feels mentally very happy and he blesses you, then also it is karma, meaning you have accrued some pious credits. So it's like because you have taken some pious credits, you have to undergo enjoyment for that. But it is not liberating. Either way, it's binding. Either you have created a sin or you have created a pious deed. So therefore, it is better in such a situation when you see a helpless person, a homeless person, the best thing would be to give prasadam or a book. Okay, so that is what is recommended, because if you can spiritualize your donation, then there is no karma to it. Okay, that would be the best thing to do. If you're able to give a book, or if you can have energy bars, offer it to Krishna, keep it in your car. If you see a person who's probably wanting food or something, you can give it to them as prasadam, then you're not implicated. Okay, so I think most of you got it, and you gave some very interesting analysis, which really was thought-provoking. I never thought of all that. Very nice analysis all of you did. Thank you. Okay, now next question is, why is it that I do not see a reaction for an action immediately? I don't see that, if someone is doing a bad action, he's not punished immediately by the laws of nature. Or if I do something good, immediately I'm not rewarded. Why do you think that is so? Any thoughts on this? Because 99% of the time it's not immediate. Why is it so? It's so unfair, right? Karma is very unfair. Why do you think it is like this?
Because if you're getting an award, they need time to get it for you, and then
they need time. Good one.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It's like studying for to be a doctor. It's not like you're gonna get the knowledge in a second.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of effort. It's like studying if you have to become a doctor, you need to study. So therefore, karma is also complicated and it takes time. Very nice. Anything else?
So Mataji,
yes.
I thought it was like for something, you have to do the action repeatedly, and then only you can get the reaction. But like studying to become a doctor or growing a plant, if you don't keep up with that, then you won't get any reaction. So it needs to see how motivated you are.
Okay, very nice. Thank you. That was very interesting.
Because you've already built up so many things, so much karma, you actually have to wait until all that karma goes and then the reaction for the action you did now.
Very good. I think most of you are going ahead and answering the next few questions as well. And all your answers are right at different levels. We are all definitely taken. Okay. So we'll just answer this question and we'll see. And then we'll move on to the next few questions as well, because they're all connected. So it is said that every seed has its own nature and fructifies at a different time. So just like, you have probably, even if you're a garden, if you plant a few seeds, you plant a mango seed, a methi seed, maybe a flowering seed, you will see that different seeds take different times to fructify. Okay, so similarly, karmic seeds also, they take different times to fructify depending on the sin. If it is every sin that you perform over a period of time, it takes different times to fructify. And you have collected so many seeds, okay, seeds of karma. you may not be able to exhaust all these seeds of karma in one birth, okay? Because you just have about 70 or 80 years of life, okay? 70 years. In 70 years, how much can you exhaust? You may not be able to exhaust everything. So death comes as an impediment. So if I have not finished a particular stock, that stock gets carried away. I think many of you said that in the same thing. Indirectly, many of you mentioned the same thing. So that is the reason why karma is not that, you see, today if I do something, immediately I'm not able to get the reaction, because there is so much pending karma that I have to first undergo. I have to undergo reaction for a lot of pending karma. Then only I can think about the karma that is there currently. So what I'm doing now, probably I will suffer for it maybe after one birth, because I have to first finish the pending stock that I've already accumulated. Okay, so that was a good one. Now, continuing the same question, this is a second part of the same question. It says, I do not see the reaction immediately, even in the next birth. Okay, we just said I just have 70 years, so maybe it's carried over to my next birth. But then sometimes we see that I do not see the reaction in the next birth also. So why should I? And the second question is, karma is so unfair, right? If I've done something in my past birth and in this birth I'm so pious, why should I suffer for something that I had done in my past birth? Isn't that unfair? I've been such a nice person this birth. Why is it? Why do you think that we do not see reaction immediately in this birth or the next birth? It takes several lifetimes to suffer for some past misdeed. And why should I suffer for something that I did in my past birth now? So any thoughts on this?
Because you're a soul, and technically you don't have any births. It's just all one.
Very good. You're a soul, you're not the body. So basically you're carrying over the karma. Yes. Okay, so then let's look at the answer. It's very similar to what you said. Okay, so basically the point is that the conditions have to ripen. Okay, they have to be right for a reaction to prevail. So there is a very famous story of one person who was a hunter in one of his past births. In several births before, maybe 50, 60 births before, he was a hunter, and he killed almost 100 little baby birds in front of the parent birds. When the parents were alive, when the mother bird and the father bird was alive, a hunter, he killed 100 little baby birds. Okay? Because of that, he had to carry karma. What was the reaction for that karma? His children would be killed in front of his eyes. 100 of his children should be killed in front of his eyes. Now, when you look at the situation, first and foremost thing, this person in his very next birth, he couldn't have 100 children in his very next birth. Why? Because to have 100 children, one must first have enough pious karma. You must have enough pious credits. Just to have one child, actually you need a lot of pious credits, otherwise you will not get. So for a person to have 100 children, first he had to develop so much pious credit. For that he had to take several births to accrue so much pious credit. Okay. So after 50, 60 births, he accrued the pious credits to have 100 children, and 50 births before, because he killed 100 birds in this birth, when he had 100 children, all these 100 children were killed. Anyone knows who this person was?
Dhritarashtra.
Very nice. Yes, Dhritarashtra. So therefore, see, karma is very complicated. It doesn't happen immediately because conditions have to be right for a reaction to prevail. And this is the story of a hunter who killed 100 birds. And as one of you said, I forgot who said that. I didn't see the name, sorry. But one of you said this body is only a dress. So change of shirt doesn't spare a person who has performed a crime. So even though you have changed bodies, you are the same person. So therefore, the reaction will come to you only. It will not go to someone else. It will come to you. It will chase you and it will come to you. Because only your dress has changed. Only your body has changed. Even if you don't remember what you did, it has to come back to you only. Okay, it's very cruel, but that's how it works. That's how karma works. Even if you don't remember what you did several births ago. Okay.
Mataji?
Yes.
when I was reading Bhagavatam, it said Prabhupada mentioned in one of his karpas that no matter how much karma you accumulate, even if it's a lot, because of Krishna's compassion, you reach Krishna earlier than you deserve, but longer than you think. So
Fantastic.
So suppose you have to go back to Godhead in 100 lifetimes, but you might just go back in 3 lifetimes, but you might think I'll go back this lifetime.
Very good. So that is our climax.
You can be like
yes.
a Jamila. You were a good Brahmana. Suppose if you're a good person and was doing devotional service, and then some sin you did, like a Jamila. Yeah, and then you at death you chant the names unknowingly, like you're innocent, you don't know what's happening, and then
Very nice. Yes, that's the climax of our presentation. Yes.
Wait, hello?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
I think that bad things happen to good people because you might have done something bad in your previous life and you're a good person now, but that thing is still gonna come back to you even if you're a good person now.
Perfect answer.
So it's still karma.
It's still karma.
Yes, it's still karma.
Yes. Still karma. So why do bad things happen to good people? Yes, your answers are right. It is still karma, and even if you have done something bad in your past life, sometimes it turns out that you have to undergo the reaction now. So therefore, bad things happen to good people. Even if you're good now, if something in the past, you never know. We have taken so many births, something in the past has come up now. So always, we are all a mix of good and bad. It's not like everyone is perfect, all good. We have been a mix of good and bad all our different lives, and therefore sometimes these bad karmas fructify from time to time, and therefore bad things can happen to good people. So a very beautiful example to understand this is actually being told, like for example, if you're a farmer, okay, if you're a farmer and you have harvested some grains, so you keep harvesting grains every year. So you have a stock of rice that you have collected this year, and you had a stock of rice that you had collected the previous year. Supposing your previous stock of grains was bad, okay, bad quality grains. This year stock was excellent, okay, this year was excellent. But however, when you're preserving your grains, what do? You have a huge silo. This is a silo, it's like a container. You have a huge silo and you keep putting all your grains. So last year's grains have gone into the silo. The new fresh grains that you have got this year, they have all gone on top of the last year's grain. Now, when you're emptying your silo to collect the grains for your use, what you will do? There will be an opening at the bottom. You open it up and the old grains first come out, right? Sometimes. So if the pile of your previous year is not yet been consumed, some of the old grains fall off the silo. So just because I got a good harvest this year, it doesn't mean that the grains that I'm collecting from below will always be the good ones. You will even get the bad stock also. So like that, even if I've been very good this year, even in this life, still there could be some bad stock karma that I'm having, and therefore for that I have to suffer. Just like how a farmer may end up catching hold of some bad stock which he had from his previous year. Okay, so the silo example is given for us to understand how sometimes even bad karma can, reactions to bad karma can surface. Okay, look, yes.
I have a question about the previous question about the story with the hunter.
Yes.
So you said that as karma for all the ducks he killed, you said his children would be killed in front of his eyes, right? But wasn't Dhritarashtra blind?
Front of his eyes meaning in his presence. I mean, when he's alive. Okay. Of course he couldn't see. In his presence, that's what I mean. In his presence, knowingly in front of him, all this had to happen. Okay. That's a good question. Okay. So, okay. Now looks like everything is destiny. Huh? Everything is destiny. Everything is pre-planned karma. So much karma everywhere. So do we at all have a free will? What's your opinion? Do you think we have a free will?
Yes, we do.
Is everything is predestined?
Not everything is predestined. Like, we can choose to do good things and we can choose to do bad things.
We can choose to do good things and choose to do bad things. Very nice. Very nice. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
It's basically what you want to do.
Okay, it's basically what you want to do. Okay. Yes, Sharan?
So I just thought that like we have a free will and we have destiny where we make our own decisions, but then those decisions lead to our destiny.
Correct. Good. Yes.
Mate, we like someone just said, we have destiny and we have free will. Because we had free will, that's why we're in the material world, because we desire to enjoy separately from Krishna.
Very nice. Actually, you have a very good point. Yeah. Yes, we have a free will, because that is one of the reasons why we enjoy separate from Krishna. Very good. Yes, definitely free will is there. Anyone else?
Kahoo!
Okay, so your answers are right. Definitely we have a free will, and it's like this. So destiny is a result of all our past activities, but free will is how we respond to that. Meaning we have a free will to respond to certain situations. So all the general life situations like my birth or my situation in this life could be because of my karma. Certain activities in my life can be because of karma. But my individual reaction is governed by my free will. For example, if supposing I'm on top of a building, okay? Now I have a free will whether I want to jump off the building or keep quiet and not jump from the building. Supposing because of my karma, okay, I have a very, I'm very depressed. I have a very bad feeling in my heart. And I'm thinking, how I wish I jump off from this building. Now, at this point, I have a free will. Whether I really want to jump off the building or I just hold back and I say, I can face this problem in my life. It's not so difficult. And I can turn back and come down. So there, the free will comes into play. Though karma, the broader framework of karma is existent in our life, still in our individual days, the individual decisions we make is completely based on our free will. So how do we exercise our free will properly? We can exercise our free will properly when we choose wisely, when we take association of the right people and choose wisely. Okay? We should take good guidance from the right people. We should be mature and wise to take the right decision. Because once we have done something stupid, we cannot retract it. Just like when you release an arrow, okay? Because of my free will, if I decide I am going to release this arrow, nothing can stop that arrow. But till I choose whether I want to release it or not release it, till then I have control. Okay, so till I decide whether I want to jump off or not, I am in control. I have my free will. But once I jump, nobody can stop me from breaking my bones, right? So we should be very careful. The same thing applies to speaking. So sometimes we, it happens to everybody. We just speak harsh words. Can we retract the harsh words? We cannot. But we can think before we speak, right? We can think before we speak. So that is where
if you have something bad to say, don't say it.
Yeah, so you can exercise your free will to say or not to say. So that is where free will comes into place in the broader framework of karma. Broader framework is there, yet you can choose to react or not react, or react wisely. Okay, so there is a lot going on. It's just not karma. Everything is just not karma. There is more to life. Okay, so we should be careful and we should be wise.
It will take, Mataji. We are done in the.
Okay, last slide.
Okay.
So what? So do you all know what is atonement?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, can you define what is atonement, Panithan?
So atonement is if you do something bad. Atonement is basically making up for that bad thing.
Like for example?
Let's say you spill juice all over the new rug. Atonement would be like cleaning up the rug or making enough money to pay for a new rug.
Very well done. Very well said. Yes. So there are different kinds of atonement. Very nice, Panithan. So atonement, like, in the Vedic scriptures, there are different types of atonement. If you do the sin, you can perform this yajna and absolve yourself of sins. In the Christian faith, you can just go to a confession box and tell, okay, I did this, so absolve me of the sins. So these are all different kinds of atonement. Okay, but does atonement solve the problem of karma? Any answers?
No, because
No.
then you'll still be doing karma.
Yeah.
Yes, because
you still
Can't
have
really
to
do
do what
anything
you're
without
doing karma. You still have to do what you have to do in your everyday material life.
The only way to like atone or solve the problem of karma is to do devotional service.
Yeah. You see this person who's here, he's saying, actually, I'd like to do them again. Are you ready to atone for your sins? Because what happens is it creates an impression. When we do something, it creates an impression where we want to do it again and again. Just by atoning, it doesn't solve the problem because the root has not gone. The root, the tendency to commit the sin has not gone. Okay, so just by saying I'm sorry or I don't want to do, trying to atone for it doesn't solve the problem. The root has to be vanquished. Just like bamboo trees, when there is a forest fire, the stem of the tree, the leaves, everything gets burnt up, but the roots remain intact. So after a year, there are small shoots that come up from the roots. The life is still existing there. So like that, we still have a tendency to commit the sins. So if you really want to destroy this root, completely destroy the root, the only way is to take to devotional service. That's the only way. Chanting and hearing and surrendering to Krishna. That's why Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masucha. I will absolve you of all sins. Like how you were saying, Shreya, I think. She was saying, if Prabhupada said, if you say, okay, Krishna, now you are in control. I surrender unto you. You take care of everything. Krishna will surely, you do not have to worry about your karma, how much karma you have pending. Krishna absolves everything and he takes you back with him. So surrender, devotional service. These two are the process of ending karma. Because by the mercy of Krishna, it will end. Krishna comes and he takes charge. Okay, so is the concept of karma clear to all of you? Kahoot, everyone is waiting for Kahoot. Okay, so how do we join now? Should I ask her to put us all in?
You leave the breakout room and then
Okay,
join
yeah,
again?
go back. Yes, that's right. No, don't leave the whole meeting. Just join the main room. How do you do that?
You just have to leave and then join it again.
Oh, really? You just can't join the main room?
I think maybe the host.
Otherwise, it just says leave meeting. Meeting.
I think the host can end breakout room.
It says
Yeah,
leave.
the host needs to send us an invitation to rejoin the breakout room.
Okay, let me ask her.
Yeah, Mataji, from phone and all, if you're joining, then we have to leave it.
We have to leave?
From
Okay.
because I think have to leave meeting, it says. If I'm on the laptop or the computer, then I can.
Okay, she's going to take us in. She just texted. She's bringing us all in there.
Okay.
So Mataji, what do we do? Do we just leave?
No, it just says leave breakout room.
It's
yes.
the